Chapter 5. The Fall of a Roman. The lab is quiet, except for the low hum of the quantum array and the soft whir of cooling fans. Marcus sits hunched over the central command table, eyes bloodshot, fingers tracing the same empty spectral graphs for the 100th time. Rome, portal residuals, faint, scattered, decaying. No active signature, no emergency beacon, no comms burst. Nothing. He rubs his temples, willing the screens to show him something. Anything that says his brothers are still out there. A small hand lands gently on his shoulder. Marcus spins the chair fast, pipe wrench half raised from the desk, then freezes. It's just James, standing there in the oversized t-shirt, barefoot, looking up at him with those big, worried eyes that are finally starting to look like a kid's again.
Hey, Dad, I finished all my pancakes.
A shy pause.
Can I maybe have something sweet?
Marcus's face breaks into a tired, genuine grin, the kind that reaches his eyes for the first time in weeks.
Well, I might have a little something.
He reaches into the chest pocket of his worn work jacket, the one he hasn't taken off since the day James was taken, and pulls out a small purple lollipop, wrapper slightly crinkled, candy itself a bit soft and misshapen from weeks of body heat and portal jumps. He holds it out.
It ain't much, but I've been saving it for this day.
James's whole face lights up like sunrise. He takes the melted sucker carefully, as if it's made of gold, then throws his arms around Marcus's neck.
Thanks, Dad. You're the best.
Marcus hugs him back tight, fierce, like he's anchoring himself to the only solid thing left in any dimension. He ruffles James's hair, voice thick.
I try, James.
He holds the hug a second longer than necessary, then stands up quickly, turning toward the console so James won't see the shine in his eyes. A small rough sniffle escapes as he pretends to clear his throat. James unwraps the lollipop, pops it in his mouth, and watches his father for a moment. He steps up beside the chair, small hand resting on Marcus's arm.
Do you think they're okay, Dad?
Marcus looks down at him, serious for a heartbeat, then forces a small, steady grin.
Of course they are, buddy. Nathan and Redact, they're too stubborn to be anything else.
James searches his face, finds whatever reassurance he needs, and finally smiles back. He nods, content, and pads off toward his room, humming softly around the sucker, already planning what toy to pull out first. The door hisses shut behind him. The grin fades from Marcus's face like a light switching off. He sinks back into the chair, hand pressing to his forehead, elbow on the desk.
Where the hell are you two?
He whispers to the silent screens. The graphs keep cycling. The comms stay dark. Marcus leans forward again, eyes burning, and starts another deep scan, this time widening the temporal band, pushing the array harder than specs allow. He's not stopping, not until the lab hears from its ghosts. Outside the old woman's cluttered antiquity shop, Nathan and Redax stand in the narrow shadow of the awning. The portal gun still inside on the stone table, guarded by a blind thief who just named her impossible price. Nathan keeps his voice low, glancing up and down the busy street.
We can't just walk up and kill Carlo Armelini. The man's a political lion lives in a fortified palazzo, private Swiss guards, half the papal secret police on his payroll. One wrong move and we're in a dungeon until Garibaldi marches in.
Redact leans against the wall, one hand subtly supporting his bandaged chest.
But we gotta get that portal gun back. That's our only shot home.
Nathan paces a tight circle, hat brim pulled low.
Let's patrol the area swiftly. Scout his routes, his habits, maybe we find a better way.
They move off together, blending into the afternoon crowd. Two tall foreigners in long coats, eyes sharp behind neutral expressions. They wind through the twisting streets near the Tiber past wine shops, churches, and noisy cafes, searching for any sign of Armelini's residence. Banners, liveried guards, carriages with his crest. As they pass a weathered brick wall near a small piazza, Redact's gaze catches on a freshly posted parchment scroll, nailed high. Win the arena today? Glory and gold to the victor. Claim a reward of your choosing from the patron himself. Games begin at the Quinta Hora. Prove your valor. Redact stops dead, staring up at it. Nathan notices, slows, follows his gaze. Redact's mouth curves into a slow, dangerous grin. Nathan reads the look immediately. His voice drops, serious.
Oh, we can't fight in an arena. We aren't locals. They'll spot foreigners in a heartbeat. And we can't show modern tech carbines, explosives, none of it.
Redact doesn't blink.
They supply armor and weapons. We just have to stay alive.
Nathan stares at him, realizing Redact is dead serious. A long beat passes church bells tolling in the distance, carriages rattling over stone. Finally, Nathan exhales through his teeth.
Fine, let's go check it out.
They turn toward the direction of the old amphitheater ruins, where, in 1867, wealthy patrons still stage private games for spectacle and gambling. The blind thief's price may not require murder after all. Just blood, skill, and survival. Back in the silent lab, Marcus still watches empty screens. Nathan and Redact are about to step into a Roman arena with nothing but borrowed steel and 25 years of shared grit. Back in Abiotic Lab, Marcus pours himself a fresh cup of coffee, scalding, the only thing keeping him upright. He walks back to the command table, steam curling from the mug. He's barely settled into the chair when a sharp, clear chime rings through the control room. The holographic display flares to life, a thin but unmistakable violet thread pulsing across the multiversal map residual energy from the 1867 Rome pocket. Still warm, still traceable. Marcus stares, coffee forgotten. Then he stands slowly, eyes wide, a disbelieving grin spreading across his face.
I've done it.
He laughs, short, sharp, relieved.
I know how to get back.
The laugh echoes in the empty lab, bright and triumphant. Then it dies. James. Marcus sinks back into the chair, the grin fading to something heavier.
I can't take James back out there. I just got him home.
He rests his chin on his fist, staring at the glowing trace. Minutes pass. Then, his eyes narrow, ideas sparking behind them.
If I seal James in my room, put the lab on lockdown, I could pop over, link up with the guys, and portal straight back with them. Few hours tops. You'll be safe here. Safest place in any world.
He turns the plan over in his mind, testing it for cracks. It holds. Marcus nods once to himself. Decision made. He stands, sets the coffee down, and starts prepping the portal bay. Rome, the Colosseum, the ancient amphitheater, looms like a broken crown against the gray sky, its massive arches casting long shadows in the late afternoon sun. Nathan and Redact climb the weathered stone steps to the main entrance, the roar of an impatient crowd already rumbling from within. At the top landing, two bored papal guards in striped uniforms, and a heavy-set man in a fine waistcoat seated at a stone podium, scribbling on a parchment scroll. Nathan steps forward.
We would like to compete in the tournament.
Silence. Then the man at the podium looks up, takes in their height, their coats, their calm eyes, and bursts into deep belly laughter. The guards join in, slapping their thighs.
You gentlemen must have a death wish.
Nathan and Redact don't smile. The laughter dies awkwardly. The man clears his throat, face sobering.
Okay, it's your funeral.
He scratches their pseudonyms onto the scroll Norte and Rosso, then stands and beckons them inside. He leads them through dim corridors to a cramped armory, racks of gladii, shields, tridents, nets, battered helmets, and chest plates more theatrical than practical.
Choose quickly.
The man says, already bored again. They select simple gear, short swords, small round shields, and segmented armor that won't slow them too much. No helmets, yet visibility matters more than tradition. The man points at Redact.
You're up first.
He tosses him a dented helmet. Nathan steps forward.
Wait, we can't fight as a team?
The man throws his head back and laughs again, sharp and final.
No.
Nathan's jaw tightens. Redact meets his eyes, steady, unafraid.
Well,
Redact says, sliding the helmet on.
let's get to it.
The man leads Redact toward the battle entrance, a heavy iron gate at the end of a torch-lit tunnel. Two guards escort Nathan up a narrow stair to a private viewing box overlooking the sand-strewn arena floor. As they shove him to the rail, one guard smirks.
Figure this is a nice spot to watch your friend's head removed.
They laugh and walk away. Nathan leans on the stone rail, knuckles white.
Come on, Redact.
He mutters under his breath.
You've got this.
Below, Redacted steps out into the blinding sun, sand crunching under his boots. The crowd wealthy patrons in shaded boxes, commoners in the upper tiers, roars in anticipation. Across the arena, the opposite gate rattles upward. A small, bony figure stumbles out, coughing, shackled, barely able to walk. He looks like a condemned prisoner, not a fighter. Redact glances up at Nathan with a confident grin piece of cake. Then the bony man is suddenly, violently yanked backward into the shadows by something massive. A huge warhammer crashes down, pulverizing him in a spray of red. From the darkness emerges the real opponent, a mountain of a man, veins bulging like ropes on his neck and arms, dragging the blood-smeared hammer as if it weighs nothing. Bare-chested, scarred, eyes cold with practiced murder. Redact's grin vanishes. He looks up at Nathan again, this time in genuine disbelief. High in the box, Nathan's grip on the rail tightens until stone dust flakes away.
This isn't good.
He whispers. His mind races, searching for angles, weapons, anything he can do from up here without exposing their tech. Because, down on the sand, Redact is now alone with a giant who just turned a man into paste. The gate clangs shut behind him. The crowd roars for blood. Back in Abiotic Lab, Marcus paces in front of the glowing portal trace, flipping a worn ballpoint pen between his fingers. Click. Spin. Catch an old habit when the gears in his head are turning too fast. Go to Rome. Bring Nathan and Redact home. Leave James alone in the lab safe, locked down. But alone. He stops at the coffee machine. The pot is bone dry. He starts a fresh brew, watching the dark liquid drip, trying to drown the guilt. Then it hits him. Nathan's mech suit. He walks quickly to the storage bay. boots echoing in the empty corridor. There it stands in the dim light. The collapsed frame of Nathan's personal exosuit, matte black, folded like a metal insect, powerful enough to punch through walls or carry a wounded man for miles. Marcus runs his fingers over the cold plating, mind racing. With the mech, he could go in heavy extract the team fast, no matter what they're facing. A few hours, in and out. He nods to himself. Rome, 1867, the Colosseum Arena. The horn blasts like thunder. The giant charges, hammer raised high, bellowing a war cry that shakes the sand. Redax slides backward on his knees, shield up, the overhead blow slams into it with bone-jarring force, but he survives the first strike. A quick grin gotcha cut short by the hammer's hilt driving into his gut like a battering ram. Air explodes from his lungs. He drops to hands and knees, spitting blood onto the sand. The next overhead smash comes fast. He rolls desperately, the hammer shattering the ground where his head had been, the wooden handle splintering on impact. The giant roars in fury, discards the broken shaft, cracks his knuckles, and advances barehanded. Redax surges up, ducks a haymaker, leaps onto the man's back. Arms snaking around the thick neck in a rear choke. The crowd erupts. The giant spins wildly, slamming backward against the wall, trying to crush Redact. Redact holds on, legs locked, free hand reaching for the boot knife. Fingers graze the hilt. The giant reaches overhead, grabs Redact by the armor, and slams him to the ground like a rag doll. The world rings, vision tunnels, sand in his mouth. Through blurred eyes, Redact sees the giant looming, fist raised for the killing blow. Then Redact vanishes. The giant freezes, hammer fists hanging in air. He spins, searching. The crowd falls deathly silent. High in the viewing box, Nathan's heart stops.
Shit, they know.
He's already moving down the stairs toward the armory for his gear. On the way, he passes the guards outside Carlo Armellini's lavish private box. The man himself lounges inside, golden laurel crown glinting, popping grapes, enjoying the spectacle. Nathan doesn't hesitate. He stops, feigns panic.
Guards, I overheard the podium master. He's planning to assassinate Signore Armellini. Hurry.
The guards' eyes widen. They bolt toward the main entrance. Nathan waits until they're gone. Then he slaps a small, modern, high-explosive, charge palm-sized silent timer against the outer wall of Armellini's box. He's back at his railing just as Redact materializes 10 feet above the giant. He crashes down, boots first, boot knife reversed in his grip. The blade punches straight through the top of the giant's skull with all of Redact's falling weight behind it. The huge body locks rigid, then collapses in a thunderous heap. Redact tumbles to the sand beside him, knife still buried to the hilt. Silence. Then Redact's arm rises weakly from the ground. He pushes up, swaying, blood on his teeth. The crowd explodes, confusion, awe, terror. Nathan exhales, tension bleeding out. He turns to the nearest remaining guard.
My friend has won. Take me to him.
The guard, too stunned to argue, leads him down. In the armory, Redact sits on a bench, wiping blood from his mouth with the back of his hand. He looks up as Nathan enters.
Did you see that fucking guy?
He laughs, then coughs more blood. Nathan grabs his arm.
We have to leave now.
Redact doesn't argue. He stands, swaying but moving. They push out into the streets just as, boom, the Colosseum erupts behind them. Armelini's box obliterated in a fireball of stone and screams. Flames lick the ancient arches. The crowd floods out in panic. Redact stops, turns slowly, staring at the rising smoke. Nathan meets his gaze, voice flat.
Now let's get that portal gun.
Redact, still stunned, chest wound throbbing, falls in beside him without a word. They disappear into the chaotic streets of Rome, two bloodied gladiators with modern sins on their hands. The blind old thief is waiting, and somewhere across dimensions, Marcus is powering up a mech suit.